Welcome to my channel, The World of Science Fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
The wind doesn't howl, it cuts. John Turner leans into it, boots punching through frozen crust, dragging the fuel crate behind him like a corpse. The storm swallows the barn 20 feet ahead. He can't see it, just knows it's there because he built it with his father's hands and his own blood. The rope snaps. The crate pitches sideways, hits a buried stone, splits open. Fuel floods out in a dark rush, hissing where it meets snow. John lunges, slips, goes down hard on one knee. The cold punches through his jeans instantly. Damn it! A sound cuts him off. Not wind, not animal. A groan, human-shaped, barely. John freezes, one hand still on the splintered crate. The fuel spreads in a slow stain around him, eating into the snow like acid. He stands, scanning the dark. There, 10 feet to his left, a shape, too big, slumped against the fence post, half buried in drift. John's hand finds the knife on his belt, doesn't draw it, just holds it there. He takes one step, another. The shape moves. Armor, blackened, cracked, still smoking in places. The smell hits him. Burned metal, scorched skin, something else, something chemical. The head lifts, eyes pale, not human, blue skin, blistered and raw. The armor's fused to the chest in places. One arm hangs useless. The other reaches toward nothing, fingers curled like it's still holding a weapon that isn't there. John's seen pictures. Everyone has. The ships that fell 2 months ago, scattered across 3 states. The government saying, don't approach, don't engage, don't help. This one's dying. John knows that look. Seen it on cattle. Seen it on his brother. He should walk away. The alien's eyes close. The hand drops. John curses, low and bitter, and steps forward. The fuel crate's empty. He leaves it. Grabs the alien under the shoulders, skin cold as iron, armor edges biting into his palms, and drags. The body's heavier than it looks. Dead weight. Almost. John hauls it 5 feet, 10, 15. His boots skid. His back screams. The wind shoves him sideways and he nearly goes down again. He makes it to the barn. Inside it's darker, but the wind dies. There's a brazier in the corner, coals barely alive. John drops the alien near it, chest heaving, hands shaking from cold and effort. He crouches, listens. Breathing, shallow, ragged, still alive. John stares at the thing in front of him. Enemy, invader, whatever the broadcast called them. Doesn't look like much now. He stands, finds the last of the kindling, feeds the brazier until the coals catch. Orange light crawls across the barn. The alien's face comes into focus. Sharp features, burned scars crossing one cheek, eyes still closed. John pulls off his coat, throws it over the alien's chest. It's not enough. Won't be. He sits back on his heels, breath clouding. You picked a hell of a place to crash. No answer. John reaches into his jacket, pulls out the bread he'd wrapped that morning, last of the week. He breaks it in half, looks at it, looks at the alien, his wife's voice in his head. You're not bringing that thing into our house. He hadn't. He holds out the bread. The alien doesn't move. John sets it on the coat, near the alien's hand. If I don't warm you, my conscience won't let me sleep. The alien's eyes open, slow, pale irises locking on John's face. A pause, long enough to feel the weight of it. Then the alien moves. One hand, burned, shaking, reaches toward the brazier. Stops, shifts, touches John's hand. Through the flame, over it. The heat bites. John doesn't pull back. The alien's fingers tighten, just for a second, then release. John pulls his hand back, skin red but not blistered. He looks at the alien, at the fingers still extended toward the fire, trembling. The alien's lips move. Sound comes out. Not English, not anything John knows. But the tone, he knows that. Gratitude. John nods once, sharp. Just don't die in my barn. He stands, grabs a bucket, goes back out into the storm. When he returns, the alien's sitting up. Barely, the bread's gone. The coat's pulled tight around those massive shoulders. John sets the bucket down, melted snow, close to the fire to warm. He crouches again, closer this time. You understand me? The alien's head tilts, a nod, slow but clear. Good, because I'm only saying this once. You stay here tonight. Morning comes, you leave. I don't care where, just not here. Another nod. John ladles some of the water into a tin cup, hands it over. The alien takes it, drinks, doesn't stop until it's empty. More? A pause, then the alien reaches into a pouch on its belt, barely functional, half melted, and pulls out something, a piece of the same kind of bread. Blackened at the edges, hard as stone. Breaks it, hands half back to John. John stares at it. The alien's eyes don't leave his face. Our fire is shared, the alien says. The words are clipped, accented but clear. Our blood too. John takes the bread. Doesn't eat it. Just holds it. Sure, just eat. The alien studies him, not like a man studies a threat, like a man studies a partner. Tomorrow, the alien says, softer now. I return. John doesn't ask what that means. He feeds more wood into the fire, sits with his back to the wall, and watches the alien breathe until his own eyes get heavy. When he wakes, dawn's bleeding gray through the cracks in the barn wall. The alien's gone. The coat's folded. The tin cup's on top of it. The fire's still burning. John stands, walks to the brazier. The coals are bright red. Fresh wood stacked beside it. He didn't stack that wood. Outside, the snow's stopped. The sky's the color of old bone. John steps into the yard, scanning the tree line. Nothing. He turns back toward the house and stops. There's something in the snow. Pressed deep. Boot prints. No. Bigger. Heavier. Leading away. And something else. A shape. Drawn in the snow with a stick or a blade. A circle. A line through it. 2 marks on either side. John doesn't know what it means, but it feels like a signature. He kicks snow over it and goes inside. His wife's at the stove, back turned. She doesn't look at him when he enters. You stayed out there all night. Had to. With that thing. John hangs his coat, doesn't answer. The marshal's been through twice, asking questions, checking barns. He find anything? No. John sits at the table. His hands ache. The burn on his palm throbs. You should have let it die, she says. He looks at her back, the line of her shoulders, the way her hands grip the spoon too tight. Maybe. She turns finally. Her eyes are red. They're saying anyone who helps them is a traitor. They're saying... A sound cuts her off. Low, deep, a vibration, not in the air, in the ground. John stands, his chair scrapes back. The vibration grows. A hum, rhythmic, getting closer. His wife's face drains white. John crosses to the window, looks out. At first he doesn't understand what he's seeing. Then he does. A convoy. Not vehicles. Not human. Figures. Walking in formation. Too tall. Too broad. Armor catching the weak sunlight. Banners strung between them. Bronze and blue. Symbols he doesn't recognize. At the center, one figure. Taller than the rest. John's breath stops. It's him. The one from the barn. Armor repaired. Posture straight. Face clean. Behind him, 5 others. Smaller. Human height. Wrapped in dark cloaks. Hoods up. Each one carrying something. A vessel. Metal. Glowing faintly even in daylight. Flames inside. Blue flames. The convoy stops at the edge of John's property. The lead figure raises one hand. The others halt. John's wife grabs his arm. What did you do? He doesn't answer. Can't. The lead figure steps forward. Alone now. Crossing the yard with slow, deliberate steps. John moves to the door. His wife tries to hold him back. Don't. He pulls free, opens the door, steps onto the porch. The alien stops 10 feet away. They look at each other. The alien inclines his head. Not a bow. Something else. Recognition. You gave me warmth, the alien says. His voice carries clear and formal. I return it. He gestures back toward the convoy. The 5 cloaked figures step forward, move in unison, stop at the base of the porch. One by one, they lower their hoods. Women, not human. Same blue skin, same sharp features, but different, younger. Eyes that don't carry the weight of war. In 5 hearts, the alien finishes. John doesn't move, doesn't breathe. Behind him, his wife makes a sound. Half sob, half laugh. Footsteps. The village stirring. People coming out of houses, drawn by the convoy. The noise, the strangeness. Voices rising. What the hell? Is that Turner's place? He's got 5 of them. Someone laughs, harsh, bitter. He bought himself a harem. The word spreads. Laughter now, nervous, mocking. John's wife steps onto the porch beside him. Her face is stone. Tell them you're not theirs. John looks at the alien, at the 5 women, at the vessels they hold, blue flames flickering like breath. One of the women steps forward, kneels, sets her vessel at the base of the porch steps. The flame inside sways, doesn't go out. The other 4 follow, one by one, placing their vessels in a line. 5 blue fires, burning without smoke. The alien warrior speaks again. Our fire is shared. You did not let me die. Therefore, he pauses, searching for the word. Therefore you are bonded. Murmurs from the crowd. Louder now. John's pulse hammers in his throat. I didn't ask for this. No, the alien agrees. But you gave. Now we give. I don't want. It is not want. It is balance. The word hits different, heavier. John looks at the 5 women. They're watching him, not with adoration, not with fear, with expectation, like they're waiting to see if he's worth it. This isn't how we do things, John says. It is how we do things. A new voice, harsh, human. John turns. Marshal Hicks, riding up on horseback, rifle slung across his back. 2 deputies behind him. The crowd parts. Hicks dismounts, boots hitting the ground hard. He stares at the convoy, at the women, at John. You're harboring them. They just arrived. You gave aid to an enemy combatant. I gave aid to a dying man. Man? Hicks spits into the snow. That's not a man, Turner. That's a threat. The alien warrior doesn't move, doesn't react. Hicks steps closer. You've got 30 seconds to send them away, or I arrest you, and them. On what charge? Treason. The word drops like a stone. John's wife grabs his arm again. John, please. The 5 women tense, hands moving toward their cloaks. Hicks sees it. His hand drops to his sidearm. Don't. The alien warrior raises a hand. The women freeze. Rejecting the gift, he says, voice calm, is dishonor. I don't give a damn about your honor, Hicks snaps. This is human land. Human law. Is it? The alien tilts his head. Or is it contested land? Land watered by our blood as much as yours? Hicks's jaw tightens. You want to make this a fight? No. The alien's gaze shifts to John. But if this man rejects us, we will leave, and the bond will be ash. Silence. The wind picks up again. The blue flames flicker but don't die. John looks at his wife, at her eyes wide and pleading, at Hicks, hand still on his gun, at the alien, face unreadable, at the 5 women kneeling in the snow. He steps off the porch, walks to the nearest vessel, crouches. The flame inside dances. Blue, cold-looking but radiating heat. John reaches out and stomps it. Hard. The vessel tips. The flame dies. Smoke curls up, gray and thin. The woman who placed it makes a sound. Not a cry. Worse. A breath that sounds like breaking. John straightens. His boots blackened. I belong to no one. The silence that follows isn't relief. It's heavier than before. The alien warrior stares at him. Doesn't blink. Then he steps forward. Slow. Kneels. Gathers the ashes from the vessel in his hands. Stands. Looks at John. Then you belong to nothing. He opens his hands. The ash scatters in the wind. The 5 women stand. Their faces are carved stone. They turn. The convoy turns with them. They walk away. No words, no looking back. The crowd watches them go. Nobody speaks. Hicks holsters his gun. Looks at John. Smart choice. He mounts his horse, rides off. The crowd disperses. Slowly. Murmuring. John's wife touches his arm, gentle this time. Come inside. He doesn't move, just watches the convoy disappear into the trees. The ashes are already gone, blown away. But the feeling remains, like he just lost something he didn't know he had. 3 days pass like bruises. John works the fields mechanically, feeds the animals, fixes the fence. His hands move, but his mind's elsewhere. The village has already moved on. There's crops to worry about, winter to prepare for. The alien convoy is just another story now, something to tell over drinks. His wife doesn't push, doesn't ask, just watches him with eyes that say everything her mouth won't. On the 4th night, John's in the barn, late, can't sleep. He's oiling a hinge when the smell hits. Smoke. He turns. The barn door's open. He didn't leave it open. Outside, orange light. Growing. He runs. The south field is an inferno. Flames higher than his head, spreading fast across the dry hay he'd stacked last week. Shouts from the village. People waking. Running. Get water! John circles the blaze, looking for the source. It's wrong. Too fast. Too hot. Too deliberate. Then he sees it. A bottle. Shattered glass catching firelight. The chemical stink of fuel. Arson. He spins, searching the darkness for movement. Nothing. Whoever did this is gone. The flames roar louder. Heat presses against his face like a fist. Footsteps behind him. He whirls. The 5 women. Just there. No warning. No approach he heard. Cloaked. Silent. What? They don't answer. They move. Straight into the fire. John shouts, lunges forward. They don't burn. The cloaks spread wide, black fabric covering flames like blankets. The fire fights back. Crawling up the edges, but they hold position. Methodical. Practiced. John watches, frozen for 3 seconds. Then his body unlocks. A metal post driver leans against the fence. Iron bar, thick as his wrist, used for pounding steaks. The end's already glowing from proximity to heat. He grabs it barehanded. The pain is instant, searing, white-hot metal against flesh. He doesn't let go. Swings. Smashes burning hay aside. Beats back flames trying to jump the firebreak. The iron glows brighter, orange then red. His palms blister. Skin splits. Blood hisses where it touches metal. He doesn't stop. The women regroup. Cover another section. Smother it. One stumbles. Falls. Fire catches her arm. She doesn't scream. Just rolls. Smothers it with her cloak. Stands again. Together, human and alien, they beat the fire back. Slowly. Too slowly. But they do it. The flames die. Smoke rises in thick black columns. The field's ruined. Scorched earth. Ash. But it's contained. John drops the post driver. His hands are shaking violently. Blistered, raw, blood mixing with ash and melted skin. His legs give out. One of the women catches him. Her grip is iron strong, steady. He looks up. Her face is close. Burn marks fresh on her cheek. Eyes reflecting dying embers. Why? The word scrapes out of his throat. She doesn't answer with words. Holds up her hand. Palm out. Burned. Blistered. Blackened. Same as his. She presses her palm to his. The pain explodes. He grits his teeth hard enough to crack them. She doesn't flinch. Doesn't break eye contact. Now your fire is ours, she says. The other 4 step closer. Form a circle around him. Villagers arrive. Buckets in hand. Slowing when they see the scene. Fire already out. Alien women standing over John like sentries. His hands destroyed. Someone whispers. They saved it. Another voice. Jesus Christ. Marshal Hicks pushes through. Stops dead. Stares. John's still on his knees. The woman's palm still pressed to his. Hicks's face twists. Turner, what did you... They put out the fire, a voice interrupts. The old farmer, stepping forward from the crowd, face hard. Fire would have taken the whole field, maybe the village. They stopped it. Murmurs, uncertain, but not hostile. Hicks rounds on him. They're not supposed to be here. Neither was the arson. The word drops heavy. People look at each other, at the shattered bottle still visible in the ash. Someone did this deliberately. Hicks's jaw works. He looks at John again. You're walking a damn thin line. John finds his voice through the pain. Didn't ask them to come. But you didn't send them away either. Didn't have time. The woman who spoke, who pressed her palm to his, releases his hand, steps forward to face Hicks directly. We came because the fire called us, she says. Her English is clearer than the warrior's, sharper. We are bound to his flame. It burns, we answer. That's not how. It is how it works for us. She doesn't raise her voice, doesn't need to. Your laws do not unmake bonds. Hicks opens his mouth, closes it, looks at the crowd, at the scorched field, at John's ruined hands. If anything else happens, anything, it's on you. He leaves. Deputies follow. The crowd lingers, uncertain, watching. Then slowly they disperse, until it's just John and the 5 women. John tries to stand. His legs barely cooperate. 2 of the women help him up. You should go, he manages. We will not. I don't want this. The woman, the one who spoke, tilts her head. You did not want the fire, but you stopped it. He has no answer for that. She gestures. The others move toward the barn. We will tend your burns. Then we will stand watch. I don't need. You do. She's right. He knows it. He follows them into the barn. Inside, they work with silent efficiency. Boil water. Tear cloth. Wrap his hands with something that smells sharp and medicinal. Stings like hell, but the pain starts to dull. When they finish, one hands him a cup. Warm liquid. Tastes like bitter herbs and smoke. He drinks. The pain recedes to a manageable throb. What's your name? He asks the one who spoke. She pauses, looks at him. Kyle. Kyle. He tests the shape of it. She nods once. Why are you really here? Kyle sits across from him. The others settle nearby, silent sentinels. Because you did not let him die, she says. Because you shared fire. Because that makes you kith. I don't know what that means. It means you are ours, and we are yours, whether you want it or not. He looks at his bandaged hands, at the women, at the barn walls that feel smaller than before. I'm not your chief, not your anything. You are, Cale says simply. You just don't know it yet. The night deepens. John goes back to his house eventually. His wife's awake, waiting by the window. She sees his hands. Her face crumples. John, I'm fine. You're not. He sits heavily at the table. She sits across from him, takes his bandaged hands in hers, gentle, like they might shatter. They're not leaving, are they? No. She closes her eyes. What are we supposed to do? I don't know. Long silence. The house creaks around them. I'm scared, she whispers. Me too. They sit like that until dawn bleeds through the windows. The next day, John tries to work despite his hands. The bandages make everything impossible. He drops tools, can't grip properly, fumbles simple tasks. The women appear without asking, without permission. One takes the shovel from his wrapped hands, another the axe. A third begins repairing the fence he'd been struggling with. They work faster than him, stronger, more efficient. The villagers watch from distances. Nobody approaches, but nobody leaves either. By midday, the chores are done. John stands in the yard watching them. They don't ask for thanks. Don't expect acknowledgement. You didn't have to do this, he says. Cal looks at him. Yes, we did. That evening, there's a knock. John opens the door. A villager, young, nervous, can't meet his eyes. Marshall wants to see you, says it's urgent. John doesn't ask why. He knows. He walks to the marshal's office. The 5 women follow at a distance. Not close enough to provoke, but close enough to see. Inside, Hicks is waiting. Another man's with him. Military uniform. Federal insignia. Too clean for this place. Turner, Hicks says flatly. This is Commander Parrish. Federal oversight. Parrish doesn't offer a hand. Just studies John like a specimen under glass. You've been aiding extraterrestrial refugees. I helped someone who was dying. And now you're sheltering 5 more. They're helping with the farm. Parrish's expression doesn't shift. Flat. Professional. That's not how this works. All non-human entities are to be detained, processed. Anyone harboring them faces federal charges. John's stomach tightens. They haven't done anything wrong. They're here illegally. They crashed here. They didn't choose this. Doesn't matter. Parrish steps closer. You have 24 hours to turn them over, or we extract them and arrest you. John looks at Hicks. The marshal's face is stone. No sympathy there. You heard him, Hicks says quietly. John turns, walks out without another word. Outside, the women are waiting. Kyle reads his face immediately. They want us gone. Yes, we will not go. They'll arrest you, kill you maybe, and me. She doesn't flinch. Then they do. That's not... He stops, breathes. You don't understand. They'll separate us, lock you up. Worse. We understand, Cal says. We do not care. Why? Because you are kith. Kith does not abandon kith. The words hit like fists. John looks at the others. They're all watching, waiting. He realizes they're not asking his permission. They're giving him a choice. Run or stand. He thinks of his wife, his farm, his life, everything he could lose. Then he thinks of the alien in the barn, half dead, reaching for warmth, of ashes in the wind, of 5 women walking into fire. 24 hours, he says quietly. Kyle nods. Then we prepare. They return to the farm. That night, John sits at the table, his wife across from him. They're coming tomorrow, he says. She nods. Already knows. I can't let them take the women. I know. That means, I know. She reaches across, takes his bandaged hand. I'm still scared. Me too. But I'm not leaving you. His throat tightens. He squeezes back. Outside, the 5 women stand watch. 5 blue flames burning in vessels placed at the property corners. Wards or warnings. Maybe both. Morning comes too fast. John's outside before dawn. The women are already awake. Do they ever sleep? Cale approaches. They will come today. I know. What will you do? John looks at his farm, his land, the place he's bled into for decades. Stand. Cale's expression softens fractionally. Good. By midday, the convoy arrives. Not alien, human. 3 trucks, 15 soldiers, armored, armed. Commander Parrish at the lead. The vehicles stop at the property line. Soldiers dismount with mechanical precision. Rifles ready. The villagers gather, always watching, always waiting. Parrish steps forward with a loudspeaker. All non-humans are to be detained immediately. Anyone aiding them is an accomplice. This is your final warning. John walks to the porch edge. The 5 women stand behind him, not hiding, present. Parrish's amplified voice. Move aside, Turner. John steps forward instead, off the porch, toward Parrish. They're under my roof. Murmurs from the crowd. Soldiers shifting weight. Parrish lowers the speaker, walks closer, stops 10 feet away. You're choosing them over your own people. I'm choosing what's right. What's right is following the law. Your law's wrong. Parrish's jaw tightens. Then you'll burn with them. The words hang. John looks at the soldiers. Young faces, scared faces, just following orders. Looks at the villagers, sympathetic, angry, confused, all of it. Looks back at Parrish. Then I'll burn. He turns, walks to the torch mounted by the barn, pulls it free. Flame dances in wind. John stares at it, at his bandaged hands still healing from the last fire. Then he grabs the torch, barehanded. The flame hisses, bandages catch, skin underneath, barely healed, splits again. Fresh blisters erupt. The smell of burning flesh rises. He doesn't let go. The world stops breathing. Pain screams through every nerve. White hot, blinding, all-consuming. He clenches his fist around the flame, tighter, killing it with pressure and will. The flame dies. Smoke curls between his fingers. Ash falls like snow. He opens his hand. The skin's black, cracked, bleeding fresh over old wounds. He doesn't lower it, holds it up for everyone to see. Kyle steps forward, looks at his hand, at the dying embers still glowing in his ruined palm. She reaches out without hesitation, presses her hand into the same embers. Her skin burns. She doesn't make a sound. The second woman steps forward, does the same. Then the third, fourth, fifth. 6 hands burning together, human and alien, blood and ash mixing. Smoke rises in a single column. John's vision blurs. Pain and something else. Something he can't name. One of the soldiers, young, barely 20, whispers loud enough to carry, "They're swearing allegiance." Parrish stares, his hands on his sidearm but frozen. The moment stretches like wire about to snap. Then, footsteps, heavy, rhythmic. The crowd parts. The alien warrior, the first one, the one John saved. He walks through villagers, through soldiers, until he's standing directly before Parrish. He kneels, doesn't bow, kneels, looks up at John. This man took our fire and did not retreat. His voice carries, deep, resonant, undeniable. Parrish's hand drops from his weapon. The warrior stands, faces Parrish now. "You would arrest him for honor? For keeping oath?" "This isn't about honor. It is only about honor." The warrior's tone doesn't rise, doesn't need to. "He gave life. We return it. That is law, older than yours, stronger than yours." Parrish's face is carved stone. "You think your law supersedes federal authority?" "I think," the warrior says slowly, deliberately, "that law without honor is just tyranny with paperwork." Silence. Soldiers don't move, waiting for orders that don't come. Parrish looks at John, at the 6 hands still pressed together, still smoking, at the crowd, faces shifting, uncertain, moved by something they can't name, at the warrior, back to John. "You stay here. You follow our rules. We follow his rules." The warrior gestures to John. "He is our bond, our kith." "That's not—" "It is what it is." The warrior's eyes don't waver. "You can imprison us, execute us, but you cannot unmake what was made in fire." Parrish's jaw works, muscles twitching. Finally, he steps back. "You've got 1 week, he says to John, voice clipped, professional. 1 week to prove they are not a threat. After that, I come back, and I won't be negotiating." He turns, signals the soldiers sharply. They load up. Engines start. The convoy leaves. The crowd stays. John's legs give out. He drops hard. The women catch him, lower him carefully to the ground. Kyle's face is close, burned but steady. "We'll keep it warm," she says softly. John's wife pushes through the crowd, kneels beside him, looks at his hands, destroyed now, twice over, at the women, at him. "You're an idiot," she whispers. "I know." She kisses his forehead, tears streaking ash on her cheeks. The villagers begin dispersing, slowly. Some linger, watching. One, the old farmer, approaches. "You need help?" John looks up, nods weakly. The farmer gestures. Others come forward, help John to his feet. The women form a protective circle as they walk him back to the house. Inside, his wife boils water. The women unwrap the ruined hands with careful precision. It's worse than before, much worse. John grits his teeth through the cleaning. Doesn't scream, wants to. The old farmer sits at the table without asking. "Hell of a choice you made," he says. "Didn't feel like a choice. Maybe that's what makes it right." John looks at him through pain haze. The farmer's face is weathered by decades of hard decisions. "They'll come back," John says. "Probably." "What do I do?" The farmer thinks. "You make it so they don't want to. Show them these women aren't threats. Show them they're people." "How?" "Same way you did with that fire. You just do it." The farmer stands, nods to the women, leaves. John sits in silence while they finish bandaging. Kyle sits beside him when they're done. "You should not have burned yourself," she says. "Had to." "Why?" He looks at her, at the fresh burn on her palm, at the steady, unreadable expression. "Because you would have done the same." Her lips twitch, almost a smile. "Yes." That night, John can't sleep. His hands throb with every heartbeat. He goes outside, sits on the porch. The 5 vessels are still burning, blue flames steady in darkness. Kyle's standing nearby, watching the tree line. You should rest, John says. So should you. He doesn't argue. She sits beside him. They don't speak for long minutes. Finally, what happens when they come back? We show them we're not a threat, Kyle says. We work. We help. We prove our worth. And if that's not enough, then we stand. Together. John looks at his bandaged hands. I don't know if I can protect you. You already have, more than once. The wind picks up. The blue flames dance but hold. Why fire? John asks. Why is it so important? Kale's quiet. Then, fire is truth. It consumes lies, shows what remains. When you held that torch, when you let it burn you, you showed us what remains in you. What's that? Honor. The word sits heavy. I'm just a farmer, John says. You are kith, Kale corrects. That is more. They sit until dawn starts breaking. The week passes in strange rhythms. The women work the farm, efficient, tireless. John's hands heal slowly, too slowly, but they heal. Villagers watch. Most keep distance, but some start approaching. The old farmer comes twice, brings supplies, doesn't say much, doesn't need to. Third day, a widow appears. 3 kids. Roof needs repair before winter. John starts to answer, but Kale interrupts. We can. They do. The widow pays in bread and preserved fruit. Word spreads like fire. By the 5th day, there's a line. Broken wagon wheel, flooded cellar, fence collapsing, chimney blocked. The women work without complaint, take payment, money, food, gratitude. John watches it happen, feels something fundamental shift, not acceptance, not yet, but the beginning of it. 6th day, Hicks shows up, alone this time. No deputies, no guns visible. John's in the yard. Hicks approaches slowly. Didn't expect to see you, John says. Didn't expect to be here. Hicks stops, looks at the women working the field. They've been helping people. They have. Why? John considers. Because they can. Because it's what kith do. Hicks's jaw works. Parrish comes back tomorrow. You know that. I know. He's bringing more men, more firepower. He's not leaving without them this time. John's stomach drops. What are you saying? I'm saying, Hicks looks uncomfortable, unusual for him. I'm saying maybe you should run. Tonight, take them and disappear. Where? I don't know. Anywhere but here. John shakes his head. Can't. This is my home. Won't be your home if you're in federal prison. Won't be my home if I run either. Hicks curses under his breath. You're a stubborn bastard, Turner. So I've been told. The marshal turns to leave. Stops. Looks back. For what it's worth, I think you did right. Doesn't mean it'll end well. He leaves. John stands alone in the yard, watching sunset bleed the sky red. That night he gathers everyone. His wife, the 5 women, the warrior, who's been staying at the village edge. They sit in the barn, brazier burning low between them. Parrish comes tomorrow, John says. Hicks says he's bringing an army. Silence. We can fight, the warrior says. No. John's voice is iron. No fighting. That proves him right. Proves you're dangerous. Then what? Kale asks. John looks around the circle. Faces human and alien. Fire reflecting in their eyes. We invite him in. His wife's eyes widen. John, we invite him. Show him what's happened. The work you've done. The people you've helped. Make him see you're not threats. And if he refuses to see, the warrior asks. John meets his gaze. Then we burn together. The warrior nods slowly. Acceptable. Kyle looks uncertain. You risk everything on this. I already did, in front of everyone. Can't take it back. She studies him, then nods. Then we trust you. Morning arrives cold and bright. John's standing in the yard when the trucks appear. More than before. 25 soldiers, 3 armored vehicles, heavy weapons visible. Parrish steps out, face set, hard. Soldiers fan out, surround the property with military precision. John doesn't move from the porch. Parrish approaches, stops at the property line. Your week is up, Turner. I know. Hand them over, now. Come inside first. Parrish's eyes narrow. What? Come inside. See what they've done. Talk to the people they've helped. Then decide. This isn't a negotiation. I'm not negotiating. I'm asking you to investigate before you arrest. Do your job properly. Parrish's hand tightens on his sidearm. You think I'm walking into a trap? It's not a trap. John steps off the porch, walks toward Parrish, stops just inside his property line. You want to arrest me? Do it. But do it after you've seen the truth. Parrish stares. Behind John, the door opens. His wife, the 5 women, the warrior, standing together. Not threatening, just present. Soldiers shift nervously. Parrish looks at them, at John, at the barn, the house, the fields. 1 hour, he says finally. Then I decide. John exhales. Thank you. He turns, gestures. Come. Parrish signals 2 soldiers. The rest stay back. Inside, the house feels smaller with armed men in it. Cale makes tea. The warrior stands by the door, silent sentinel. Parrish sits at the table stiffly, looking around with professional assessment. Talk, he says. John does. Tells about the fire, the women helping villagers, roof repairs, wagon fixes, fences, work. Parrish listens, doesn't interrupt. When John finishes, Parrish turns to Cale. Why? Why help them? Kyle meets his eyes without flinching. Because we are kith. When one is bonded, all are bonded. Their need is our need. That's not an answer. It is the only answer we have. Parrish's jaw tightens. He stands abruptly. I want to see the village. Talk to people myself. Fine. They go. John leads. Parrish and soldiers follow. First house, the widow. She opens the door, sees Parrish, tenses. Ma'am, Parrish says formally, I need to ask about the alien women. She glances at John. Back to Parrish. They fixed my roof. Did they threaten you? Demand payment? No, I offered. They worked hard. Good work. Parrish nods, moves to the next house. Same questions, similar answers. Helped with the cellar. Fixed my fence before the livestock got loose. Taught my son to mend harness leather. Didn't have to. Each answer consistent. No threats, no problems. Just work and fair payment. By the 8th house, Parrish's expression has shifted. Not softer, but less certain. They return to John's property. Parrish stands in the yard, silent, soldiers waiting, village watching from distances. Finally, Parrish speaks. This doesn't change federal law. They're still here illegally. John's heart sinks. But, Parrish continues, there are provisions for refugees demonstrating community value, who pose no threat. He looks at John. I can file a report, recommend provisional status. It's not permanent. Buys time. John blinks. You'd do that? I do my job, which is accurate assessment and reporting. Parrish's eyes harden. But if anything changes, one incident, one complaint, I return, and I won't ask questions. Understood. Parrish turns to Cale. You're responsible for them. All of them. Any trouble falls on you. Cale nods. Understood. Parrish signals his soldiers. They load up efficiently. Before entering his truck, Parrish looks back. You're walking a razor's edge, Turner. Don't slip. I'll try. The convoy leaves. The village exhales. Collective release of held breath. John's legs nearly give out. His wife catches him. We did it, she whispers. We did. Kyle approaches. Expression neutral, but her eyes show something. Relief, maybe. Respect. Thank you, she says quietly. John shakes his head. Don't thank me. You did the work. You gave us the chance. The warrior steps forward, places a heavy hand on John's shoulder. You are kith, he says. Now all will know. Weeks turn to months. Winter comes hard and cold. The women stay, work the farm, help the village. Slowly, painfully slowly, acceptance grows. Not universal. Some still distrust, still fear, still hate. But but enough. Enough that when spring arrives, when the first thaw comes, the 5 vessels still burn at John's property corners. Blue flames in daylight, steady, permanent. John's hands have healed. Scars remain, thick, twisted, permanent. He doesn't hide them, wears them like badges. One evening he's on the porch. Cal joins him. "We received word," she says, "from our people." John's chest tightens. "What kind of word?" "More ships are coming. Refugees. They heard about this place." He exhales slowly. "How many?" 50, maybe more." Silence stretches. "Will the village accept them?" Kyle asks. John looks at the fields, the houses, the smoke rising from chimneys, at the vessels burning blue at his property corners, at his scarred hands. "I don't know," he says honestly, "but we'll find out." Cale nods. "That is all we can ask." The sun sets. The blue flames brighten as darkness falls. John thinks about the alien in the barn, half dead, reaching for warmth through flame, about the choice he made, the line he crossed, about fire and ash and everything between. His wife comes out, sits beside him, takes his scarred hand in hers. "You know they'll keep coming," she says quietly. "More refugees, more problems, more fires to put out." "I know. And you're okay with that?" John looks at his wife, at Kyle, at the fields he's worked his entire life, at the vessels burning like promises in the dark. "I fed a stranger," he says slowly. Kyle finishes, "and fed the world's fire." John's quiet for a long moment, then nods. "Yeah, I guess I do." They sit together as night deepens, 6 vessels burning in darkness, a circle of light against the cold, a promise made in fire and kept in ash. The wind picks up, cutting, brutal, unforgiving, but the flames don't die. They never do.